All right. So the best way to make the most of a time is I have a limited amount of space in my iPhone, and I will have to make the most of me learning all the concerns. So I just want to. I feel like there is 50 more that can be had. So I've listed down like now. Let's see here. Listed down one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 9 pages, almost like 45-ish here. And I'm pretty sure most of the major ones are covered. So if I just prepare all these and then get into the course, um, I feel like I will be having more, like I can get to the $10,000 very quickly without me having to put a lot of time. And I think I'll be working on how to make the most efficient uh, process, right? So if I'm taking making the cold calls and then closing the deals, I need to be closing the deals with the most amount of effectiveness. If I'm closing the deals and me making $10,000 becomes too difficult, it doesn't make sense. So if there is one thing that can help me make more money, is going to be just me figuring out the sales process, like the objection handling first and then presentation. So objection handling, presentation, and the first call process, so that whenever someone hops onto the second call, they are already warmed up to the process. And I can pre-frame a lot of different things which can help me ease up and help me in helping them, pretty much. So so these are the things that I will be working on. The things that I have prepared are, I don't want to make an impulse decision. It's a major thing. um, I don't want to make a rash decision. I mean, impulse decision is like, out of control. Rash decision is like, me not thinking through, right? I think there's slight difference. I need to dive deeper into me thinking what's the difference. I want to think it through properly. I want to. I have to check my P&L. I need to talk to my financial advisor. I'm going on a vacation for 2 weeks. Realtors want to have the allows, make the calls, and start the relationship. That's a belief. I would like to do it organically, how I have done it so far. That's like a reason not to commit to taking help, like getting outside help and delegating the stuff that they are not meant to do. I have had a bad few months. I'll do it once the situation gets better. I think that's either gonna be the first thing that they say, or it's either gonna be when I keep digging into their smoke screens, and then this is gonna come up that, hey, you know what, the things are not being the best, as I've already told you, as I've already told you. So I would like to take some time off, get a few more deals closed, get things in a better place, and then I will have more funds to invest. That's again like easier reframe of, hey, you know what, is this a problem or is it actually a symptom of just having like the problem of not having enough realtors in the first place. So then you tackle into the symptom. Okay, you know what, yeah, it's a symptom. Yeah, because if you had more realtors, what would have happened? You would have closed more deals. So what makes you feel that, if you keep going back to focusing on the symptom and making that the primary objective for you to focus, then how will we ever solve the actual problem? If you keep waiting for deals to come in so that you can get more realtors, you will never get more realtors so that you can get more deals, right? And at the end of the day, the last 6 months we have done the same thing. Where did that bring us? So would you be willing to take a step of discomfort so that we can change the outcome and actually solve the actual problem, rather than focusing on the symptom? That's how this will be done. uh, and then the next one is, let me close a couple more loans. It's already coming in. And the way I do it for any other scenario as well is pretty much, I've not mastered how to say it in the most effective way possible, but I know how to think, like how I think about it, right? How I think is, if you are anyways sure that the closes are going to be done, why waste the time in between? Why not just get started? Because anyways, the first foundational step is going to take some time, so why not just get started with that? So let the foundation take place while you close the deal, so that you are not down for any money. So what are we trying to do here? Like, think about it. What are we trying to do here? We are looking at the the screen, the bank balance, and looking at a few numbers, right? You can't touch those numbers anyways, right? So we're looking at those numbers, it's sitting there. We either put that into investment so that it works for us, or we just like to see it and then gives us a sense of relief. And that's a belief that we have, that hey, you know what, as long as it's there, I just feel good. And so we are looking to be comfortable by looking at that. And that's why we're not committing to an investment which will help us get to a better situation. And anyways, in the next few days or few weeks, we know for a fact that the numbers is going to go higher, up. What makes you feel that at that point you will also not get attached to the next number that's going to come up? And then we can also get back to the same feeling that, hey, you know what, yeah, it's like 4 grand right now or 20 grand right now, whatever the number is. But if we get attached to it and keep it attached, and we feel like, you know what, I don't want to let it go, then how will we ever get to the next level? Can we ever get there? No. So what do you feel like, would you be willing to be that person who invests their funds so that we can get to the outcome? But also, one more thing is, if anyways the funds are going to come up, why not invest and save the time? Because anyways the funds are going to come up. The funds are going to be there in 14 days, and that's when you were talking about investing there, right? So why waste 14 days when we already have the funds? Invest these funds, and then when those funds come in, instead of investing in this program, you keep it in your savings. That's it. So you just don't see the funds for a few days, and that's the only thing that we are concerned about. So what do you feel like is behind you holding on to a few numbers on the screen? It's just a sense of relief. What do you think is the actual sense of relief? Is the existing numbers that anyways is going to be an expense, is that the actual relief? Or what is the better relief if we have more 20 realtors where we can make an ask from, where we have introductions, warm introductions made, and if we can go and meet with them and then make an ask month after month after month, and each and every one of them are doing at least like 8-10 buyer sites annually, that's 160 to 200 buyer sites in a year. And what if you can just get like 10% of that? That's like 16 buyer sites in the next 12 months. What is a better actual sense of relief? Yeah, so would you be willing to actually choose the, what would you choose, actual sense of relief or just an imaginary relief, just to stay in a comfort zone? That's a way to look at it. A couple more closes coming up. Something that can be made better as well. I can focus on two things at once. I can't focus on two things at once. What makes you say that? Yeah, I'm just not, I like to do things very focused. So whenever I'm starting something, I want to be all in, present at that moment. I appreciate that, right? But are you not already doing two things? Like, if you're worrying about you not having the business to the place where it is, you're taking care of yourself, like, you're focusing on your mental anxiety and stuff like that. I mean, it can be made better, but you, us as a business owner, as leaders, we don't have the luxury to choose what fire we extinguish. Do you know what I mean? In business, there is sales, there is marketing, there is customer service, there is quality, there is product, right? Product and service. Can you ever say that I'm either all in on sales or no sales at all? Can you ever say that I'm all in on customer service or no customer service at all? We cannot do that. It has to be like a priority or a not a priority right now. So for you right now, well, like, would you agree? Yeah, it's only about a priority. So it's not about you doing two things or three things. It's about what are we prioritizing, and while taking the other things alongside as well, because it's at the end of the day, it's a business, right? So how are you prioritizing? What are we prioritizing right now? What is more important to prioritize? Is there anything else that's more important than you making more money so that you can reinvest into yourself, or maybe get more relaxed and have more to spend with the family and friends, and also have more savings done? What's more important? Is that a priority, or is that more priority for you to maybe, like, do some hiring, find more ways to spend that when we don't even have enough coming in the first place? What's a bigger priority? Yeah. So would you be what do you feel like we should do when we know for a fact that there is a priority that needs to be taken care of? What do you feel like the business needs right now from the leader, so that it can get to the next level, so that you can have a better life? Yeah, I need to do this, right? But But I think, like, I just don't have the right time, right? What if I get, I have an appointment and then something comes up and I have to meet that, and I will not be able to give my best in the appointment as well as there. What makes you say that? What makes you say that? Yeah. Is it because, is that the way that we have been, or is that the way we are? Those are two different things. Is that the way we have been? Is that the way we actually are always? Or is that the way we have chosen to be so far? Yes, can I share a perspective with you? Yeah. As I shared with you the identity, right? The person that makes 30K a month. Do you feel like that person thinks like this? Or do you feel like he does something different that gets him the outcome? Because the current person that you are gets the outcome that you already have gotten as a result of you being you. Would you agree? It's easy for you, right? Because that's what you are. And your current identity is shaped by your current beliefs, current perspectives, and the actions that you've taken. Would you agree? Yeah. And the outcome that you want, the outcome that we all want, the 30K a month, having better situations, having better teammates, better hires, more time with family. The outcome that we want is also an automatically is also easy to get for the identity that you need to be to get to that outcome. Would you agree? Yeah, so for right now, we are this Jeremy, and then we want to be this Jeremy so that we can get to the outcome easily. And just as like this Jeremy is an out, is a result, is a byproduct of his current perspectives, which shapes his belief, and then he takes action to become this Jeremy. He needs to choose a different type of perspective so that that shapes a new type of belief, which helps him take new type of action that hasn't he haven't taken before, so that he can become the person that he hasn't been so far. And that way, the byproduct of that person being can be the outcome that we want. Would you agree? So, would you be willing to have a different type of perspective, proactively choosing a different type of perspective so that we can become a different type of person that we haven't been before, so we can get an outcome that we want that we haven't gotten before? Would you be willing to do that? Yeah, why would you be willing to do that? Just because, I understand that, uh, yeah, I mean, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't have enough time. Yeah, it's not about how much time we have, right? Okay, so I need to. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah, I mean, the current perspective is like I don't have the time, so that's why I cannot prioritize the task that needs to be prioritized. Do you see how that there can be a different perspective of us saying, hey, we can, all of us has 24 hours. You have 24 hours, the cab driver has 24 hours, and the richest person has the 24 same hours. All of us the 24 hours. The best mortgage professional in your same market, person who is doing double the number of loans than you are, also has 24 hours in the same market. So do you see like how the perspective is active choosing actively choosing a perspective of saying that, hey, you know what, it's not about how much time I have, it's about how much time I can make for the things that needs to be done regardless of how I feel in that current scenario. Do you feel like, do you see how that shapes the way? Do you see how that paves the path for you to become the person who eventually gets the things done that needs to be done? Because what happens if we let this identity of ourselves, the person who says that, hey, I don't have the time, that's why I can't do the most important task in the business, keep us from getting to the outcome in 3 months from now? If in 3 months from now, just because we hold on to this way of thinking, we don't get the additional realtors, expenses still keep stacking up, the same problem keeps being there, and you lose $20,000 every single month after month. So in the next 3 months time, you would have lost 60,000 more dollars just because you don't have enough realtors in the first place, and then there is no momentum here. So you either have to choose again, and you just have lost 3 months of your life, which you will never get back. Plus, the expenses that you're anyway spending is also not going to come back. So, what happens if you are there 3 months from now, letting this same sort of belief and perspective hold you back? Are you willing to allow that to happen? So, what do you feel like we should do? Yeah. Okay. So I don't have. Okay, I can't focus on two things at once. how much time it will take. So how much time it will take is, uh, it's there's one positive and one negative. The positive is there is a step towards me. So when they take a step towards me saying, okay, you know what, all right, perfect, everything is well and good, how much time it will take, just so I see like how to even think in my mind, whatever, right? It's positive because it's a step towards me. Now it's negative because it still is like it's looking for, like it's them not taking ownership and responsibility of making the time. It's how much time it will take so I can see how to put it somewhere. How can I make the time, right? It's about, it doesn't matter how much time it takes. If this is not there, then your business suffers, right? So yes, every single appointment is going to be 30 minutes, but you need to also maybe, like, I don't know how much time you can put into it. You need to make time to get the outcome regardless. Like, it doesn't matter if you do it with us. It does not matter if you do it with an in-house team. It's going to be even more work if you have an in-house team. If you want to build a new team, more work. Find another agency, get anywhere, you need to put in the time. Doesn't matter how much time. All that matters is, are you committed enough to actually put in the time, make the time, and do whatever it takes to get to the outcome, so that these 2 months, 3 months never comes back in your life ever again. If I When I get you the appointments, can you commit to being the better version of yourself every single day and finding how can I make it better? What more can I do? What more can be done? How to make sure the time how to make sure the time is there, right? Are you willing to do that? Because if you're not committed to doing that, it doesn't matter if it takes 30 minutes a week or 3 hours a week or 10 hours a week. The outcome is the more important thing. We're not looking to spend as little time as possible. We are looking to get as much out of it as possible. Would you agree? Yeah, it's similar. Like, we don't want to spend as fewer cents as possible. We want to get as much ROI as possible. And for that, I cannot be the only person accountable. You have to be equally accountable so we can both come together and make it happen. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. Perfect. 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 All right. Next, I've been in this for 20 years, and that's how I've always done it, and that's what works. I've been in this for 20 years. I've been in this for 20 years. I know everything, and that's how it works, and that's what I've always done it, and that's what has helped me get to this point, right? And that's what will help me get to the next level as well. So, what makes you say that? Okay, what if we have lost? We know for a fact that we could be doing $20,000, right? We could be doing $20,000 more every single month. We know that. And what is the reason that we are not able to do that? What's the reason why we are not able to do that? Yeah, because we just don't have enough in the first place, right? We haven't done the things that needs to be done to get the outcome that we want to have. It doesn't matter how you have done it, how long have you been in this industry, it doesn't matter at all. I am irrelevant, you are irrelevant equally. What matters is what actions, the cause and effect, right? An effect is caused when action is taken. If the action is missing, the effect is not going to be there. It does not matter if you're 20 years experienced or you're making a million a month. If you still wanted to make 1.5 mil and then we are looking at half a million in deficit, there's something that went wrong. Would you agree? Yeah, so doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What do you feel like is the reason why you feel like this is the only way to get there? Yeah. Do you see how, if someone is like, let's say, from my own example, I joined a gym, right? I'm overweight right now, about like 10 kilograms, which is 16 pounds. So there was once a point when I was about 20 to like 30 pounds overweight. And for 5 years, I was an athlete. So I was in the best shape of my life, most of my life. Not like the best shape, but of course, much leaner. And I have my muscle memory. I have way more experience than the average person when it comes to fitness. And I joined a gym, tried diets, but I never prioritized this as much as I wanted to, and I wasn't consistent on it. And as a result, I lost a few and then gained a few, lost a few and then gained a few. That's how it always has been. But now when I go to the gym, I join my gym, and then I made it difficult for me to go to the gym easily. It's about like 10 kilometers from here. So everyone in my gym is like, you know what, why are you coming this far? Like, why could you not get like something nearby? Because I just want to choose this, I want to make consistency difficult. But then when I go there, I don't say that, hey, you know what, I have been this athlete always. Yes, I know for a fact, but I still might have missed out on anything that has been in the recent years. And I want to always learn from other people who can help me get there. What matters is, it doesn't matter who I am, who I was. What matters is who I am right now. And who I am is a 16-pound overweight guy who needs to lose 16 pounds in the shortest time possible, being healthy without losing his health. That's what is needed. And if there is someone who knows more than me right now and who actually has the result in front of me, why would I try to boast like, hey, you know what, I have been this for 10 years, I was an athlete, I know everything, I don't want anything to learn from you? Of course, why would I say that, right? But that's not how it should be going. Let's say, okay, I've been this for 20 years, and that's how I've always done it. That's how I've always done it. To get a new outcome, you have to be a different person, new person. And to be a new person, you need to have a different set of beliefs. It's a different set of beliefs which will help you take different set of actions. Would you agree? Yeah. And do you know how to change beliefs? How beliefs happen, or set up? How are beliefs? Uh, what is it called? Created? How are beliefs formed? Beliefs are formed from perspectives. The perspective that you had gave you a set of beliefs which had you take action in a certain way, which had you become the person that you are, and that got you the outcome that you already have. If you want to be a different person, you need to choose different type of perspective actively, which will automatically shape your new beliefs, which will help you take new action in the direction of the new identity that you have to be, to get to the outcome that you want to have. Do you understand? So if we never choose, if you stick to the old way of looking at things, old perspective that we already had, no matter it helped you get here, it did not help you get to the exact level that you want to be. You see, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. What matters is, do we have an opportunity in front of us, and did we take action on it on time? And if we did, then we will make progress much faster than what we have done so far. So would you be willing to choose a new perspective so you can shape a new set of belief and have take action towards the identity that you need to be, so that you can take action like the person that you need to be, so that you can get to the outcome that you want to have? Would you be willing to have a new set of perspective and take a new type of action? Yeah, I get what you mean, but no, I get all that, but you know, see, I'm not gonna pay like $2,000 with you. What's behind that? First of all, I appreciate that, right? I appreciate you being transparent with me, and trust me, if like money, keep the money aside for a second. I don't even want the funds, right? The funds are the last of the problem. What matters is, we are in a situation where we have been losing this amount, and we have been this problem for this amount of time, and we want to be this person. Would you agree? And we want to get to this outcome, and we haven't been able to do that because of A, B, and C. That's a fact. Doesn't matter if it's we're talking about $2,000, $4,000, a dollar, or $1 million. It doesn't matter. Completely throw that out of the window. What I want from here is a commitment towards actually taking an action which is needed. If you tell me I am perfectly fine where I am, I don't need to change anything, I'll be the first person to tell you I think we should not do anything. But regardless of if you work with me or not, if you sign up with us or not, what matters is the fact will not change. And the fact is a fact. So, what do you feel like you should be doing? Forget about me. What do you feel like you should be doing to make sure that you are in the best possible situation so that this never happens again? Yeah, I need to commit. I need to commit. But yeah, so what's behind you not feeling like, not willing to commit to the solution when it is presented before? And you can be real with me completely. I wouldn't be offended. If there's anything that's a concern for you, feel free to share. Yeah, I just don't know you guys, right? I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate that. But when you say I don't know you guys, what do you mean specifically? Yeah, man, I met you like 2 days ago, right? You called me out of the blue. I don't know if it's gonna be there. I don't know, how this is gonna be. I saw the process, yes, I saw the call recordings, but I don't know how it's gonna look like. Yeah, can you ever know without doing it? What program in this world would you actually know how it looks without you going through the program? Yeah, but I can get a proper idea of it. Of course, you can get a proper idea of it, and that's what you have already got, right? Can I share a perspective around that? Uh, what's behind that? What type of feeling do you feel when you think of committing to a program with us? What's the feeling that comes up? It's a bit discomfortable, uncomfortable, right? It's discomforting, right? And I understand that. Can you ever know us without working with us? Can you ever, in any planet, can you know how working with us looks like without working with us, without spending time working with us? No, I cannot say that to you. You cannot research that anywhere. You have to go through the experience. What is on the other side of the experience is only possible to be experienced when you take the first step towards the experience and go through it. Do you agree? Yeah. And I understand that it's a bit uncomfortable. If it was not uncomfortable for you, and the moment I said, hey, it's going to be $2,000, and you were like, yeah, yeah, that's fine, take my $2,000, I would really rethink about my solution, the offer that I've created for you. I would think that you won't even take this seriously enough. The fact that it's a bit uncomfortable, the fact that this is a bit uncomfortable, the fact that this is a bit uncomfortable, the fact that this is discomforting means that it's out of our comfort zone. And have you ever seen yourself or anyone who grew inside their comfort zone? You came this far not being comfortable, but because I'm pretty sure, without, like, I can take a guess, you took action which other people did not take. You did maybe some tasks, you went out, you did whatever it took, which was not comfortable, and that's when growth happened. Yeah, do you see how the same thing that helped you get here is not exactly what we are doing right now? We're trying to run away from it. And the only way you can actually understand how something looks like is on the other side of it. And what we're trying to avoid is a risk, right? Hey, what if this happens? What if that doesn't happen? It's all like the negatives being, being the focus for us. But the future is like, is we don't know, is uncertain. There's no certainty on what's going to happen. I might die tomorrow, right? God forbid, you might, something happens to you. We don't know what's going to happen, so we are looking for certainty which doesn't exist. But even if it does exist, it's only in our mind. Do you see how possibility and impossibility both are a construct in our mind, both of which does not exist? It does not exist. It's all what you make of it. For example, if I say, what if I choose from a point of fear and I focus on the negatives, on what can happen, if I focus on the negative possibility, then my questions to myself would be, what if they don't listen to me? What if they look down at me? What if they don't, sign up with me? It's all are possible. Because when I think about that, if I think from that perspective, I will act, I'll take actions in that type of, in that way. And when I take actions in that way, I will not work, I will not prepare, I will show up not in the best possible version of myself, and that will reflect in me. And that's when you will exactly do what I feared I would get as an outcome. Do you understand? Do you agree? Yeah. On the other hand, if I say, hey, it's in my control and I take responsibility of what needs to be done, because the outcome is inevitable if I put in the task, and doesn't matter where I am right now, If I become the person who gets the outcome automatically, then it's going to be impossible for me not to win. And when I think from that perspective, when I take responsibility and when I take action towards that identity, the questions to myself are, how can I make sure it becomes impossible for me not to win? What do I need to do so that I make sure that people can get clarity and then sign up with me? What do I do to make sure that I can speak with people who are their most right fit for this program? And then the things, the way I show up, the way I prepare, the way I take action is exactly opposite of what happens before. But do you see how both of these are possibilities? And depends on what type of version, what type of perspective that you choose, what type of emotion do you choose, or what type of what voice or you listen to in your mind shapes the future that you can have. Do you see how that means? Do you see how that works? Do you see? Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So, what type of, for you specifically right now, because, anyways, there's no way that you can actually get the outcome without going through a program, regardless of it's our program or any other program. It doesn't matter if it's an Indian guy sitting in front of you, a Turkish guy sitting in front of you, or a London guy from London, or it's an American guy. You still will have the same level of uncomfort, discomfort. Is it not true? Perfect. Right? Is it? Uh, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. So, what type of voice would you like to listen to? Do you like to listen to that voice which leads you towards negative, and that's putting the responsibility on external circumstances? Or would you like to be the person who takes charge and sits on the driver's seat, take responsibility, and make sure that what needs to be done is done, so that the possible positive possibilities are attracted to your life? What voice would you like to listen to? What voice should we, what voice do you think we should be, you know, listening to? Yeah, this voice. I get it. I get you. I get what you mean. Yeah. So, what do you feel like we should do? Yeah. So, what do you feel like you should do? Like, you specifically in your situation, what do you think you should do? Yeah. So, in this given scenario, what would you like to do with us? What would you like to do with the program that we have in run? So, what do you think we should do? Perfect. That's how I would do. Yeah, I have always done it this way. I don't have the cash in hand. I don't have the cash in hand, or I don't have the cash ready. So give me a couple of days. 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 Okay, so what is behind that? If someone says, "Hey, yeah, everything's all good, well and good, but I don't have the cash in hand ready right now, so give me a couple of days." Oh, okay. So just so I clarify, is it we want to do it but we are not able to, or we are looking for reasons why we cannot do this? Are we looking for reasons why not to do this, or we genuinely want to do it but we cannot because of some concern? Like, keeping money aside, like for you specifically, like how are you looking at it? What mind space do you feel you are right now? Are you like in a situation where, yeah, I don't have the money and I want to do it but I don't have the funds to do it? That's the whole problem. Or is it more like, hey, you know what, I'm not entirely sure about this, and also I don't have the funds, or so I just don't have the funds for this one set aside? How does it look like specifically, just so I take a proper note of it? I think 80%, from my own experience, like 80% is going to be, I haven't set aside the budget for this right now. It's an objection disguised as that. Now, provided if it's the first thing, then I think it's more like I don't have the budget set aside for this. If it's not the first one, then it can be a bit authentic, as in like truthful. It can be more like I generally don't have the cash. If I if it's like I don't have the cash ready, but I do want to do it, and I would sense some hesitation or not, right? So I can call that out. But can I be totally honest with you? I sense some hesitation in there, and I don't believe that you are completely bought in. Is there still any concern that, like, apart from the money, because money is the easy part, I can figure something out, we can do something along that side. But are we actually ready to commit to this program, or not entirely bought in? Or is there any concern that's keeping us from actually, in our mind, committing to taking action towards it? I would double down. I would double down on, you know, checking on the commitment level. Once I check on the commitment level, if it's like, ah, at that point, people do say it. You know, it's either gonna be, yeah, I just don't want to take a rash decision. I just don't want to take an impulse decision, or yeah, it's I don't want to. You know, I like what I'm seeing, but it's just that, $2,000 right now is not something that I plan to invest into this. So that's why I would like to, take a few couple days and arrange some funds and then see how it goes from there. That's one, right? Um, but if it's like, okay, you know what, I'm completely bought in, and yes, cash flow is the only problem that's stopping me, then I would be more like, okay, you know what, in that case, when you say cash flow is what's stopping us, what are we working with, like bills expenses aside, what are we working with right now that could be invested into it? Yeah, I mean, maybe like, $1,000. I mean, everyone has $2,000, by the way. In my mind, I think so. Especially if you're in America, right? If you're an American, I think if someone in the US doesn't have, I mean, I have $3,000 right now to invest, right? Uh, but if someone, like, bills expenses aside, I still will even if I don't have, I still, being a 29-year-old with feel like I'm not the best in having a big social network. I don't have that, but still, I'm pretty sure I can arrange about $6,000. I don't understand how someone like, I don't have that funds. How can that be a possibility? I can right now arrange $2,000 in 15 minutes, uh, from friends and family. So if I can do that in India, and I will be, make $2,000, that means like I'll be asking in rupees for help, and that would be in rupees, right? Rupee standard $2,000. That means it's close to $16,000 in US. So how can someone in the US not have $2,000? I don't usually believe that, and I don't think it has ever come up. Yeah, I don't think it has ever come up with the people that I'm working with. I don't have that much money, but I also think that it might not be easy to say out loud. But anyways, so let's say if I say, okay, so how much are we working with? Yeah, 1,500. Okay, and is that like apart from bills and expenses? Like, it won't, if we invest that much, it won't impact the, like, your survival, basically. Okay, so what we can do is we can get the terms of agreement signed up, terms of agreement cleared, so we're on the same page, and then we can take a $1,500 deposit, and then we can get the, foundation started, and a month from now you can pay the remaining amount. Would that work? Would that work? Like, I'm not necessarily sure. Like, okay, that's understandable. What's behind that? What are you unsure about? What are you unsure about specifically? I'm not sure if you really think about it. Yeah, yeah. It's just like, I haven't, and I think it's again goes back to, I haven't put aside some budget for this. Have I written that down? I don't. I haven't put aside a budget for this. Yeah, I haven't wrote any money objection yet, but money objections are usually a bit easier. I haven't put aside a budget for this. It can be very juicy, like if someone says, "Yeah, I haven't put aside a budget for this," it can be something along the lines of, I mean, yeah, I understand that. I have never put aside budget for solving the actual problems in my life as well until the solutions actually present. And when the solution present, I don't care about how much I have. I somehow make it happen, right? Because the solutions and opportunities doesn't always show up, and we cannot even budget for the actual things that needs to be solved. We can only, you know pray and hope that this some sort of solution presents itself. So do you feel like the problem that you have of ABC for XYZ amount of time is possible to be solved by this solution that you have in front of you? Yeah. So what do you feel is behind you thinking that we need to have a budget set aside to solve the actual problem, which improves everything and helps us get more budget in the first place? Yeah, because what do you feel like is behind that? Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. If you really think about it, what's behind that? What's behind you needing to have a budget set aside for top priority task and not already automatically, prioritizing that? Yeah, just I haven't thought about it. That's one. And whose responsibility is it to actually think about it that way? So, will you be willing to have a different perspective around that? That's one. Or it can be like, yeah, I mean, what's behind you not prioritizing? Yeah, because there's 10 different things needing my attention, and so it's very difficult to think about one specific. I understand that, but okay, one more angle could be, do you feel like you not having a budget for investment that is a priority? Do you feel that that's a problem, or this is actually, or is this more like a symptom of you not having enough realtors in the first place? So is it actually a problem, or is it a symptom of an actual problem which we are not even talking about, which we are not even looking to solve? Yeah, it's a symptom of you not having more realtors. So what happens if we keep focusing on the symptom and make that symptom the reason why we cannot solve the actual problem, instead of focusing on the actual problem and prioritizing solving that problem, so that budget never becomes an issue in your life, like so that you don't have to ever think of budgeting for the most important task? Would you be willing to solve the actual problem rather than the symptom of the of the real problem? Why would you solve the real problem? Yeah, but what happens if you don't solve the real problem? What happens then? Are you willing to allow that to happen? Why not? And then, so what do you feel like we should do here? And they'll be like, yeah, I mean, I need to arrange the funds. So let's talk about this further. So are you willing to are you willing to talk about the finances a bit? Yeah. So bills, expenses, that are, what are we working with? So do you feel like you have $2,000 to invest to get this started, or you have it but you just don't want to invest because you haven't put a name onto that number? So do the funds that we have, is it already allocated to something else, or is it just sitting idle, but just because we haven't thought of allocating it for specifically this problem, we're just attached to, or we're just holding on to that number, and we're having resistance towards allocating that funds and investing it here? There's a lot of things to look into. What's it? What's the situation? Yeah, I mean, I have the funds, but I would like to, I was not prepared for it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but what happens if tomorrow something happens where you don't have, and you keep only have this funds that you're holding on to right now, and we don't never actually solve the real problem, and moving forward, the problem that we uncovered, the reason why they want to actually solve it, What happens if that problem actually shows up and some real life scenario happens, and then you are say in the same situation? Can you actually tell life that, hey, you know what, I don't have the budget for this? You cannot say that. You cannot tell life, hey, I don't have the budget for this. You can tell me, but you can tell it to yourself. But life ends up lifing, and then if you don't have the systems and solutions solved already when you had time and, opportunity, the only thing that stays is regret. So are you willing to listen to that person who, are you willing to, are you willing to settle for, are you willing to stay attached to the current perspective, which has allowed you to be in the situation where you have to either budget, otherwise you cannot invest into the most important things? Do you want to stay attached to this perspective, or do you feel like you need to change the perspective so you can become a different type of person who gets a new type of outcome that you have never had before? What do you feel like you should do? What do you feel like you should do? Okay, 45 minutes and we will take a break.